Oh, yeah. Here we go, episode 86. Let's have a fun Monday Eve. Let's do it. Happy Monday. Bada boom. There we go. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to Evening Hour, episode 86. I'm Cardone, and we're going to have a good time tonight. I am excited about tonight's episode. So sit back, grab a drink, have some snacks. It's the evening, and let's have some fun. This might be a New York City only brand. I don't know. But yeah, this is the good stuff. Vintage brand. Yeah, let me pour the rest of this in here. And let me turn this down a bit. My Baroque record is blasting. How are you? Lilith Malone, happy Monday to you and your cohort. Hello, how are you? Joel, Darla, who else? William, Jason, there's a bunch in here. Matt. Yeah, there's a ton of people. Amanda, welcome. Thank you. I have a lot to say. Tonight's going to be a fun one. I'm going to be doing some chat about some NYC history that I am not an expert on, but I'm learning. What else? Oh, first of all, if you're new to the channel, yes, hit the subscribe, hit the notify, hit the like, all that nonsense. I know that if you watch YouTube, you hear people really hammering on that stuff. It's because YouTube does not like independent creators. I'm being honest. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. The president of YouTube said that they favor corporate media. They literally just said it straight out. Even though the channel is called YouTube, not Corporate Tube. So there you go. So you know where their allegiances lie, even though the backbone of YouTube is built on shows like this. So therefore, hitting subscribe is very important. So if you're new, hit that button. If you like to donate, hey, that's great. This channel has bills. Yes, we do. And I also buy new equipment. Now, I don't really need, there's the donate info, and it's also in the below description. So if you look in the description below, you will see a little, you can click on it. This channel is not monetized because I'm not at 1,000. And they make it really hard to get to 1,000 because they go boop and they hit the shadow ban button. Shadow ban button means that it doesn't go anywhere. The channel sits. It doesn't pop up in a lot of places. As soon as you hit 1,000, they hit the button and it opens it up a bit and it starts to grow. And everybody I know that does YouTube says it starts to go way quicker once you get to those numbers. So therefore, the least you can do is hit that button. All right, enough of that crap. It's a waste of breath. Some new stuff. Check this out. New book came out not long ago, and I finally got a copy. This is the history of the New York City band of the Lunatics. And I was a fan of this band when I was in college. This book is amazing. It has even full color pictures in it. I mean, it's kind of off the charts. It even has their high school pictures. I don't want to show too much. I want you to buy the book. They're friends of mine. They're friends and colleagues, and I want you to buy the book. It is really good. I'll give you a little preview. At the very beginning, the first thing it does is it talks about the first night Chip, the drummer, played with them, and they were in a dressing room, and they noticed there was a two-way mirror, and that the creepoid owner was watching them get dressed the whole time. And they smashed it down, and they literally like wrestled the dude down and made him take his pants off, and they kind of humiliated the guy. So these chicks are tough. And I mean, I've gotten to play shows with them. I got to roadie for them a few times. I almost got to play bass for them once. They called me to see if I could do it just because Squid was sick, or I'm not sure what. I didn't get to do it. So that would have been funny. I would have been maybe the only male lunatic at that time. I think they got one. Somebody else might have done it once. So the book, Fallopian Rhapsody. Killer, and it's not thin, it's pretty beefy, and it looks like they did a good job. It's not junk. It's got good stuff in it. You get a really good feeling of what it was like being a band in that late 80s, early 90s. CBGBs and all the clubs were still around. Yeah, so that's that. Number 2, at midnight tonight, my favorite independent game company is releasing on Kickstarter the 4th edition of Dungeon Degenerate's Hand of Doom. Folks, I don't know what to say, but this is the best board game I've ever played or owned. I don't say that too often. I actually haven't played it for a little while, but I've played 1,000 hours of this game. You can play it solo. It's not cheap. I believe it sells for about $80 or maybe around 100. I don't know anymore. I own 2 copies. It is fantastic. You can play it alone. You can play it with a group. I would say the max is 4, but it's a legacy game. You don't stop playing it. You keep going. It's a campaign. It's basically the closest feeling I've ever felt to playing Dungeons and Dragons in a board game form, because it's not a dungeon crawl. You don't move through rooms and keep track of where you're standing in line of sight and all that crap. Nope. You're moving on a map, but the actual combat and the interactions with the other characters and creatures and monsters, it's here. You don't see it on the board. I mean, you can put the miniatures out, but it's not like a grid or anything. I highly recommend it. It's a new fantasy vibe. It has a little bit of a Warhammer fantasy feel, where there's a little bit of the Renaissance mixed into the medieval, but it definitely has its own flavor. And I love it to death. Midnight tonight, look up Dungeon Degenerates. Gobblinko is the company, and they do watch this show occasionally. So a shout out to you, Gobblinko, Sean Auberg, Katie Auberg, and family. Awesome company. All right, give him a little plug there. The other thing I've been working on is my speed in which I load Pez machines. I'm getting ready to do another Pez episode. There was a Pez hoax in the last few weeks, a viral video of someone loading a Pez machine. I'm going to do a video on that, and I'm also getting faster at loading them for real. I have something I'm working on. So I bought a 3-pound bag of Pez online. It's about this big. Pez meaning the loose candy packages, and I'm practicing opening them fast. The problem is they're not consistent. The way they're glued is not exact, so ripping the wrapper off takes practice. What else? How are you all? I mean, we're in the middle of summer here. Last week was one of the busiest weeks I've had in a while. I had a show, I did this show on Monday, then I had that crazy modeling gig Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday I had a show, Friday a show, Saturday a show, Sunday I had a show. So I did a show yesterday. So today's my first kind of day off, but not really. And I wanted to tell you about that modeling gig I did. It was kind of amazing. I gotta say, it was easy. It was great. We shot in the West Village on a kind of a mellow street, sort of mellow. And the person that I shot with was a celebrity that I didn't know. I'm forgetting her name right now. Maddie Ziegler. I know this because we were doing magic tricks and stuff, and I have the card she made over here. My daughter, when she heard that Maddie Ziegler was on set, was like, what? I guess she was a fan. I don't know anything about this person. She's very young. She's like 19. And she looked about 26, 27. Like if I met her and didn't know, I'd say she was 26, 27. She was 19. And it was me and her and a couple other guys. And that's it. And we did this fall campaign for a major fashion brand. And she was great. She was smart, sharp, fun to be, she did a good job. It was great. And I think we shot for about 10 hours. It was a good 10-hour day. And we did, because it was for the fall campaign, we did there was a photographer and a videographer and a social media guy. And so we did a little bit of each. And that's pretty typical now with these fashion fall campaigns kind of things. They do a bunch in one day. They kind of kill many birds with one stone. So they'll set up the shot and the angle, and then the models roll in, the photographer does all this stuff, and then as soon as he's done, the videographer basically does a video of kind of the same vibe, and then they edit. And then the social media guy shows up, and with an iPhone, this guy was shooting with a phone too. So they actually use iPhones now for professional stuff. Amazing. All right, we got a nice group here. I love it. If you're new and you're joining in, again, the least you can do is hit that subscribe and notify and like button. It's so hard. All right, let's see. What do we got rolling here? All right, there's a lot of people writing and I didn't see it. Here we go. Oh, my mom's in. Hey, Pataki. Gina. Yeah, Gina. Gotta love Gina. Let's see. Who else is in here? Now I'm reading out. Can you get it on Amazon? Yes, you can. Fallopian Rhapsody. Maddie. Oh, yes. She's on a dance show. She's a model. She does a whole bunch of stuff that girl does. She was pretty cool. For DD, get a crew and sell memberships to have a Zoom. Well, you know what's funny? This Dungeon Degenerate game, you need the box. You need to kind of be there because it uses decks of cards for the events and the random stuff. Yeah. And here's the other thing I forgot to say about the board game, and then we're going to start the actual show. It's an open world sandbox game. So, like a video game where you can go anywhere you want and do whatever you want, you can do that in this game. You can travel anywhere you want. You can go. CR Mealy. You have this shirt too? This is my favorite Coney shirt too. It's the only Coney shirt I own because it's the only one I ever liked. So you and me have the same kind of taste. You also have an affinity for leopard print and stuff, I believe, too. Yeah. You gotta love Pinhead. So, tonight, episode 86. Let's start. The episode tonight is titled Coney Island and Character. And where are we here? There we go. Coney Island and Character. I don't know how many of you have been to Coney Island. I would guess many of you in here. And I think many of you have not. Some people have heard of the place. It definitely has a mythological tone to it. It is New York City. It's Brooklyn. It's on the coast. If you look at a map, it's kind of like on an inlet, which means there's no waves. So you can see the ocean, but it doesn't really, you don't get the wave. Rockaway Beach is right beside, but we get the waves because we literally face the direct ocean. There's no land anywhere slowing it down. So when I'm on my beach, if I look to the left and I can go around my beach, because it's like a peninsula too, you'd hit Coney Island. And I want to do a little bit of the history, a little bit of how I was introduced and the kind of work I've done there. And yeah, I think you're going to like this. So Coney Island in the 30s, well, first of all, it used to be an island, a literal island. And now, throughout the years, the Warriors, there was a landfill that filled it in. And that's why it's no longer an island. You can just drive there. So it's a peninsula now. Like most of the islands out here, they're peninsulas. Rockaway, Coney Island, it's all like these weird peninsulas. And skinny. Rockaway Beach is skinny. It's this little piece of land. We're Queens. Coney's Brooklyn. And in the 1930s, rich people started taking vacations here. It was desolate. There was no one around. I didn't know this. In 1849, it was so quiet here, Herman Melville wrote Moby Dick out at Coney Island. I didn't know that until today. And so in the 1830s, in the 40s, by the 50s, 60s, 70s, it started getting popular, and it became literally the Disney World of its time. In its heyday, it was the boss of all theme parks. It was the one. It was the resort, the vacation, the legend, the magic was happening there, literally. And it didn't start to go downhill until after World War II. That's where it started losing its steam. And I think the reason why it did so well is the rich people started not as much coming, and the middle class started showing up. That's when in the teens and the 20s, that's what started happening. Lilith wrote, you got to go to Steeplechase. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, there's some cool stuff. So the first resort was at Brighton Beach, actually, which is right beside Coney. That was the first resort out there, and that was in... I don't have the date, but I think it's in the 1890s or 80s. 1880. It was the largest amusement park. From 1880 to World War II, it was the biggest amusement park in the United States. Literally like what we would consider a Disney World vibe. Ooh, you've done 7 Cyclones in a row? I think I've done about like that. I've done about 6 or 7. Yeah. Oh, hey, bada boom, Fallon. Thank you for the donation. That means a lot. Thank you. And you know who else is happy? Zalthon, because I can pay him now. Okay. I am going to show that public domain film right now. I think it's the same one. I'm going to put it on right now. I want to show you what Coney Island looked like at its peak, and you are not going to believe this. You're going to see amusement rides that are going to blow your mind. Dangerous, yes, but wow. You're going to see junk food that's going to blow your mind. You're going to see the sideshow in its heyday. Pinhead, you're going to see the real pinheads right now. This is a great little film. I'm going to put it on right now. Thank you for reminding me. Tell me if this is the same one. Let's do this. Check it out.
Coney Island, the world's greatest fun frolic, with its beach miles long, all peppered with people, the place where merriment is king. Let's mingle with 1 million folks who are just like all of us. 100,000 youngsters and oldsters, all swimming, playing, or resting, all getting their share of the sun and the fun, all refugees from the city heat, here where the beach meets the cool Atlantic. Here in this great whirlpool of joy. Here for a lark at Coney Island, world's biggest barrel of fun. Some take it easy on the $4 million boardwalk, while others snap pictures for proof back home that they really were part of this fun-seeking throng. With amusements here, there, and everywhere, it's hard to decide where to start. Rivers of humanity in carnival mood pour through Coney's many streets.
Hurry, hurry, step this way, the strangest sights on the island. Bricks from the four corners of the world. For 2 nickels, 1 dime, a 10th part of a dollar. We've got the show if you've got the dime. It's just starting, so hurry, hurry. Look 'em over, the lady without a head. There are thin ones, there are fat ones. They're all inside. Zip and Pip, the pin-headed people. A sample of the marvelous freaks you'll see for the price of a small thin dime. You get the whole show now if you hurry, hurry, hurry.
Step right this way, friends. You can't go home without a permanent souvenir. Now take your places. That's right. Now, very still. A big, broad smile. Watch the birdie, and presto, we have Down on the Farm right at Coney Island. Speed demons of tomorrow getting someplace today. Surprises galore, cries and screams of delight in these cars that tilt and slide. From one attraction to another, the eager million moves on. Even the kiddies fly high at Coney. Everybody ride on any and every kind of gadget that means motion, speed, thrills, and laughs. Now, this looks easy, just a matter of hanging on, but hanging on to what? Faster it goes, and here they spill in every direction. It's fun for riders and spectators, too. If it turns and twists or rocks and shakes, it's here at Coney Island. And all that swings in this huge fun center is not on a dance floor. Atlantic Ocean breezes and laughter make appetites keen at Coney. Dinner time is any time, all the time. 1 million hungry people to feed. And the cost begins at a dime. And the youngsters have their own ideas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Corn on the cob, a Coney specialty. Steaming ears smothered with butter and salt, with thousands of bushels enjoyed every day. But Coney Island's greatest eating invention is the Frankfurter, for it was here, when the place was a sandbar known as Coney Hook, that the hot dog was born. Zowie, it's Coney Island caviar. After dinner, it's time to check your weight. He'll guess within 3 pounds, or it costs you nothing. Coney's most famed free attraction is its Big Bathing Girl Review, where mermaids from near and far vie for honors. Those who brave the surf and those who never go near the water parade before big crowds and critical judges. Blondes, brunettes, and redheads, all so shapely and lovely that the judge's job is exacting. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to present Miss Coney Island. Here they come, head over heels, upside down. What's the difference? Here at Coney Steeplechase Park, the fun never ends. let's cool off, high up in the ocean breeze. Shows of every kind invite the crowd. Shows that make us grip our seats with excitement. Shows like this where ferocious tigers from distant lands come to quicken our blood. Fang and claw matched with nerves of steel. Playful fellows, aren't they? One of the cats shows us how they do the tiger rag in Jungle Land. You want to cut in? You can if you want. Now, hold your breath. Ah, the man who didn't lose his head. From the jaws of a tiger to the hoopla, and hoopla it surely is. Down she goes, and around, up and down, going nowhere in a hurry. Action, no matter how you land, so long as it's action. Now for the good old merry-go-round, carousel, flying horses. Whatever we call them, they afford a merry whirl for youngsters from 6 to 60. Then action again on whirling discs. Or shooting the chutes at a mile a minute. Or standing on your head and seeing the world upside down in this loop-a-plane. Riding to the top of the park to see the whole show, only to face a vertical drop of 90 feet. Some scream, some grow pale, but everybody shouts. It never seems to end. Drop after drop, rise and twist and turn. But at last it's happy landing, and my oh my, where have we been? Dusk descends. Night crowds pour in to swell the mighty merrymaking throng. Millions of lights frame the resort in a pattern of moving joy. Fantastic shapes pierce the crisp coastal air. The sky becomes a living lacework of brilliance and color. And long into the night, the crowds make merry with laughter, song, and fun. Coney Island, a mecca by day, a glittering spectacle by night, the dynamic fun land of a nation.
Wow, folks, I love that movie. That is like really cool. I mean, right away, how crowded is that when they show the beach? Holy moly. The rides look dangerous as living hell. That swirly thing where they're flying. And C.R. Mealy said, he knew his uncle said someone puked on the spinning ride. I mean, those rides were wild. I love the Miss Coney Island pageant, which is coming soon. They still do it. One of my really good friends, Lillian's entering it this year. Yeah. Oh, the parachute ride they didn't show in there. I don't know why. Yeah, that's interesting. But Luna Park right now looks exactly like it did then. They made the front look the same with the lights, which is really shockingly awesome. Back then, you had Luna Park, Dreamland, Steeplechase. Now you only have Luna Park and Dino's Wonder Wheel. Dino's Wonder Wheel is its own park. What else did I notice in there? Oh, them measuring the girl's chest. Amazing. The circus was there. We did have Ringling there right before Ringling bit the bullet. You literally get to see the guy do the tiger bit with the head in the mouth, which is crazy dangerous. What else was in there? The sideshow. They showed some of the pinheads. They didn't show any of the other acts. They did show the Bally banners. They had, what was the fat lady's name? Winnie? I love it. It was lit up like Luna Park. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it really is like when you see the size of how big Coney Island was. Now, it is definitely a skeleton of that today, but it still has a lot of that stuff. It really does. There's still a vibe there. And I wanted to talk about a lot of the details. One of the things that Coney had that I didn't know is they had these versions of dark rides that were kind of like how Disney has It's a Small World. And they had one that you went in that was like you were landing on the moon, but it was like theater mixed with a ride. That was invented there. Coney Island has the oldest spook house in the world. It's called Spookorama. Unfortunately, is one of the worst ones. I have a big problem with it. Every time I go, I'm just, why don't they make this really cool? It's basically a room, and you go around the room and leave. That's it. It is not like the Spook House in Ocean City, Maryland. But it's the oldest one, Spookorama, and it's under the Wonder Wheel. The Wonder Wheel, when did they build Wonder Wheel? 1920. It's a historic landmark. It is awesome. I don't like those kind of rides, but, Ken Burns' America. Oh, I got to see that. I've seen parts of it, but not the whole thing. Everybody, look at this. Lilith just wrote Ken Burns' American Experience Coney Island episode. The one that I like Wonder Wheel. There are two cars. There's the stationary cars, and there are the swinging cars. And I don't even know how to explain how the cars swing. They're on these weird tracks. It's really different. I've never seen it anywhere else on planet Earth. And it's kind of fun because it's this calm ride. And you're moving, and you're moving, and you're like, why am I moving in another direction? And then you go, and then as you're doing that, it's moving again. And as the wheel turns, the tracks realign, making the car swing more. My son rode the Wonder Wheel at 2 weeks old. Yeah, we had him on there at 2 weeks old. He was this big. We were like, wow. The other one is the Cyclone, built in 1927. I've ridden it a lot. It is amazing. Kennywood. Of course. Been there many times. What's their coaster? The one that goes over the hill. The Cyclone is the first of that type of coaster. It was imitated at many places. Yeah, Amanda, it sucks. It really does. And I love spook houses, and that's one of the worst ones of all time. I'm not kidding. They just buy attractions pre-bought, like mechanical things, and put them in. They're not even unique, most of them. You'll see the same ones at other spook houses. The one at Ocean City, Maryland is unique. It's beautiful. The Cyclone, someone died on it. Not because they fell, but because they broke their neck. Yeah. That's right. Phantasmagoria. I've heard of that. Yeah. The Cyclone is a violent ride. It's violent. You're like, oh, you're like, you get slammed around, and someone broke their neck. They like snapped their neck and then had to go to the hospital, and then they died later. It is a pretty cool old school roller coaster, but man alive, is it bumpy. Now the Thunderbolt, which they tore down, they rebuilt a new one, a metal one. That's also kind of shaky too. As I get older, I don't like amusement park rides. I don't like getting my head rattled. I don't like being spun. And yeah, I don't like being restrained with these things. I'm claustrophobic, so. Most severe first drop. It is. It's like really, it's not a big one, but it's kind of violent. Yeah. It's like, whew. And then when you do the turn, you go flying against the side. Yeah, if you're a coaster freak. Now, does anybody know without looking up where the world's oldest operating coaster is? Not Coney. Not Hershey Park. Not Kennywood. Lakemont Park, Altoona, Pennsylvania. Leap the Dips. I grew up riding the world's oldest roller coaster. And when I was little, it was running. When I got a little older, it was done, and they almost tore it down. And then a friend of mine, for his bar mitzvah, his family gave him money. Part of his present was they were going to give him some money to donate. I don't know if this is a bar mitzvah thing for all kids. This family was cool. They're like, we're going to give you a bar mitzvah present, but we're going to give you some money, and you get to choose what you do with it. I thought that was kind of cool. So he donated it to the roller coaster. I was like, wow. He's like, look, man, Altoona, his name's Larry Port. Shout out to you. It's like, he was like, look, it's something that's special that we have in this little town that people come from far away to see, so we might as well make it nice. So the Leap the Dips is, I think you can only seat 4 people. It's a car with 4 seats. And it doesn't do this. It does this. It goes up and it goes, and then it goes around. And then it does another, it does little dips all the way down. And the car kind of jumps the track. It's scary. It goes, it is definitely wood with metal reinforcements at this point. Yeah, I grew up riding it. And we also have one of the oldest carousels in the world, and they sold it like dummies. So, yeah, I like amusement park history. Nathan's, 1916. Nathan's Hot Dogs. It's where the hot dog was basically invented. It's where they took the sausage, the wiener, put it in the bun, and put the ketchup mustard. And when I think of Coney, I think of hot dogs. I think of boardwalk food. They still have it. Now, here's my first story of Coney Island. I literally arrived in New York City with basically nothing. And I was going to sleep in my friend's apartment on the couch for a month so that I could just be there, get a job, and find an apartment. And I was actually looking for an apartment for me and a couple other people. I was the anchor baby. I was the first one, and I was going to set up an apartment, and then my friends were going to come. So I'm sleeping on my friend's couch. I didn't realize he didn't tell his roommates. And one of the first things I wanted to do was go to Coney Island. So I took the A train from Uptown, the Upper West Side, all the way to, I forget where I transferred to the F, and then I took the NR or the F. I can't remember. And I remember it pulled up, got out. I just got to New York. I was shocked at how dirty the subway was. Now, mind you, this is 1995. Coney Island was definitely different than it is today. I get out, and in the train station, there's a diner. Anybody remember the diner in the train station? It was beautiful. Tiny little diner, greasy spoon, perfect food. There was also a candy store in there, which they're still there. They moved. Paper cone. I love it. And so that was like, wow, there's a diner in the subway. Then I walk out, and there's like flea market people selling crap on the streets. The sideshow was on the boardwalk at this time. There was the Bobby Reynolds Museum, which was a sideshow, like a dime museum of sorts. And what else was there that was different? There was a lot of different rides. The Thunderbolt, which is in Annie Hall, the movie, that was still there, not running. The parachute ride is a historic landmark, even though it doesn't run. That was there. And I just kind of went around, rode the rides alone. And I remember being amazed at how run down it was. And just dirty. And it was in the middle of the summer, too. And I found those games that you put the quarters in, that when they land, the thing pushes them. We've all seen these. They're illegal in most places because it's, quote, gambling. Now you put quarter in and you win tokens. I don't know. It's stupid. But back then, you could win real money. And I saw it and was like, oh, God, I'm good at these. And I started going to Coney Island all the time to play that game because I could win. I would leave with like 10 or 20 bucks sometimes. I don't think I ever won more than 20. But I got good at it. I started being able to watch where they were going to fall. And I started seeing the other skells hanging around. They were definitely people that, like, that was their day job, was hanging out around those machines. So that was my first impression. And then by the time I started performing, I can't remember the first show I did there. I really don't know. I can kind of maybe figure it out. So I started doing shows there, not in the... Okay, so here's how the sideshow works. So eventually it went from the boardwalk to where it's at now, which is it's in a permanent building, and they own the building, and it's a non-for-profit. So they ain't going anywhere now. And the show prides itself in being the last 10 in one in the world. It's 10 shows for the price of one. 10 acts. And it runs on repeat, which is called a grind show. So basically, if the show starts at noon, it ends at 8 p.m. It never stops. So you sit there and you watch the show until you see the act that you've already seen, and then you leave. Ooh. Hold on. And then, so in that show, you'll see a fire eater, a sword swallower, an escape artist, a magician, a contortionist, the electric lady. It's 10 different acts. And when I first saw it, it had Fredini, and Lilith just mentioned Fredini was doing that project where he was doing the 3D sculpt. What do you call it? Digital printing. And he was the sword swallower magician at that time. And eventually, when I started to do shows, I was never in the regular cast. The regular cast has a hard gig. They're there every day. This summer, they're only open 3 days. And they run that show in grind format for not much money. It's a hard show. I'm on the outside cast. When they get calls for corporate gigs, I get the call for that stuff, which is what I did yesterday, which is why I'm doing the show today. Yesterday, I was working for Coney Island Sideshow at Luna Park. And they had closed Luna Park for a corporate event, and I forget the company. Boston Mutual Trust Fund and Agency. I don't know, some long company name. Oh, wow. Dan P., you have enough for a poster. Yeah, you have over 1,000 points. And you know what? I have posters. Look. I have some of these here. I have also posters you get at my discrepancy of which one, but I have some of these. This is the Stuart Palm Cardone poster. Yeah, just go on there and you can see the place where you put the order in, and I'll ship it to you free of charge. If anybody's new watching all this weird game gambling going on, look at the description. It's in there. You can win prizes. So, I started doing shows, not in the cast, but at special events. They're doing a tribute to the Ramones or the Cramps or this, that. I would get booked to do the show. Eventually, I started to get asked to be at like fundraisers and things, and then I started doing all sorts of stuff there. Eventually, they started doing a magic thing there called Magic at Coney, and I started doing those. So I've done a million shows there. And then I got hooked into the strongman scene, and that's where I first got to do my milk can. And it was a total honor to be a part of that. And that's where I met Adam Realman and all these people that I've been working with for, I don't know, 15, 20 years. What else was I going to say? We also have the New York Aquarium out there. Now, part of tonight's episode... Oh, yeah, here. Coney Island caviar. So, what is Coney Island like now? Well, it has some character. It does. It's not the same. There's a lot of chain restaurants now, but it is one of the only amusement parks that isn't owned by one person. Everything's independently owned. You have Luna Park, and in the middle of Luna Park, there's another park owned by somebody else. Literally surrounded by a park. And then the sideshow is another ownership. That is not, it's also inside the Luna Park area. The vending machines, they're all independent. So when you go to the boardwalk at Coney, I gotta say it's kind of cool that there's like real restaurants independently owned. Very rare, and that does give it character. But a lot of what made it romantic to me when I first went there is leaving. Like, there were illegal tattoo parlors. I remember an illegal tattoo. First of all, people don't know this. Tattooing was illegal until I think 96 or 7 in New York City. So they were little parlors here and there, but they were technically illegal. And there was one in the middle of the park. It was like literally like a little alley you went in, and there's a guy doing tattoos. I never got to get ink there. It looked pretty skeevy. I gotta be honest. So, I mean, a lot of us are attracted to that dark edge, that underbelly grime that Coney Island did become. I like that. There is a sleazy element that is appealing. It is leaving, though. It is almost gone. It's feeling a little Disney-ish now. The sideshow still feels authentic, because it is. The boardwalk still does too, but there are places at Coney now where I'm like, God, there's like a TGI Fridays? What? No. You're a tourist and you show up and it's the same food you have in your mall? Oh. So, mutoscopes. What is a mutoscope? Please tell us. Am I reading this right? I don't know what that is. Tell us, Fallon. Maybe. They still have shooting galleries and stuff. I mean, they still have some cool stuff, but it is definitely different. Rockaway Beach, where I live, we also had an amusement park called Playland, which has been gone now for many years. And it was an imitation of Coney. They were trying to do a Coney Island thing. It just didn't work. Boblo Island. Ooh, there's some good stuff. What is the mutoscope? I must know what this is. I just don't know the name. Are they those things that you crank and watch movies? I'll find out when the, whatchamacallit speeds up. So, Coney Island still has its vibe. They still do the mermaid parade. They still do the polar bear plunge, although they didn't do it this year. The hot dog contest, still going on. Yeah, okay, yes. I think they do still, a couple places have them. I think the Coney Island Sideshow on the second floor has a museum that has some. Yes. Lilith, you've been to Playland? Oh, wow. I want to hear. So Wits End is where the arcade was. And across the street from Wits End is where the roller coaster and everything was. Wow. Very cool. Yeah, I have some Playland memorabilia. I love it. So, yeah, I have, my heart is in Coney Island. I mean, I consider it part of me, in a way. I don't perform there all the time. I've done a bunch of literally shows there that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. I met some of my show partners there. The New York Variety All-Stars came from Coney Island. And the first gig we got paid to do was we got hired to do the aquarium. We also got hired to do the opening act for the hot dog contest, which is the largest scale magic show I've ever done. I mean, I at that point, I had played music in front of 15,000 people. I'd never done magic for 15,000 people. Well, I got to do it there. So it's an honor to be included in any of those things. I can't believe I got to do some of those shows. It's in my blood. And I wanted to talk about where it's going to go, how American tourists or foreign tour, or whoever, a tourist, what they want out of an experience like that. Because today, I mean, the Disneys and all of these things really take charge. It's funny, I used to really like theme parks. I really like artifice beauty. It's a little bit of the total environment thing. I do like that. I like artificial beauty. I like man-made sculpted beauty. I love when everybody walks in the room in the candy factory at Willy Wonka. I get goosebumps. He is a wizard. He created a world. I like that. What I don't like about Disney and MGM and Harry Potter Land and these immersive experiences, everything's given. Everything's given. The sights, the sounds, the taste, the smells. It's a total environment that you didn't get to pick. Somebody else picked it. And you were on their turf. And some people like that. As I get older, I'm not liking that anymore. I could care less. I've never been to the Harry Potter Land or the Star Wars thing in Florida. I have no desire, literally none, to see it. I just saw that Disney is going to do a literal spaceship vacation where you wake up in outer space and you're in a Star Wars spaceship. Great. I don't need that. I'd like to get in a spaceship maybe, but I don't need the trappings of this. I don't need it. I do it myself. Thank you. So as I get older, the amusement thing has less appeal to me. I do like the boardwalk experience. I like that. I like trying new foods and seeing new sights. I like that. But I don't need to give my money to Disney to have them do the whole thing for me. And I've been to Disney World, and I've been to Tokyo Disney 4 times, somewhere in there. A World of Pure Imagination. Yeah. I cry in that movie. I do. The end. Ugh. So, yeah, and I really wanted to figure out what are people like these days. I think people like these total environments. People want to be in a Star Wars movie, so you go to the park and you get to feel like you're in a Star Wars movie. I think that's going to replace the movies. You know? The hell with the movie. You can be in it. It's Total Recall, except real. It seems to be popular. It's almost like LARPing. No, it is LARPing. It is. You'd rather go to Greece. Yeah, me too. I mean, come on. I would literally rather go to the middle of nowhere in Nicaragua and surf and have no internet connection and nothing but waves, sun, jungle, iguanas, and some random weirdos to talk to. Yeah, I'll have my own Disney. Yeah, the modern versions of what entertainment holds within, I'm starting to retreat from. I don't need it. Now, I will say this. I play a lot of board games and role-playing games, and I like to read and do that kind of stuff. And I'm not a video game guy at all. I don't need to do that. My phone, I'm already on my phone all the time. But I did recently order for I call it the communal room. It's in my apartment, but a lot of people come here to party. I'm getting a Dragon's Lair machine that plays a bunch of old games. It's a new machine. It's not an old one, but it looks, it's got a retro look. And I'm getting it because I do like arcades. I love pinball arcades and I love video game arcades. I do. It's part of my life. I mean, I grew up hanging out in arcades. That's my generation and before me. I might be the cutoff. My generation might be the cutoff for pinball and video games. Now, we have Barcade and we have all these other new things. Oh, yeah. Newer immersive parks. Yeah, they're too curated. Well, that's it. They're literally giving you everything. I mean, everything. There's nothing there. I mean, for you to add, it's fine. It fits into philosophical suicide to me. It's like you're choosing for them to dictate the whole thing. When you go see a play, there are limits to it, you know? When you go to a ride, there's a limit. But when it's like that, it's one thing. So video game culture is not me, but the arcade culture is. So going to someone's house and playing video games, yes, that happened when I was younger, but we were in arcades. We went out to meet people. I wanted to meet girls. I wanted to meet a pot dealer. You know, when you're in high school, you know, we went to the pool hall and the pinball places. And some of them were massive. Anybody remember the one in Times Square? How about the ones in Chinatown, the one with the chicken? Coney Island still has them. They used to have a lot more. Silver Dollar City. I've never gone to Branson. I'm dying to go. I hear it's fun. Someone told me it's the Christian version of Vegas. I was like, what? Yeah, it's kind of wholesome, I heard. But I like visiting boardwalk places. I don't like going to theme parks anymore. Unless I'm being paid to be there. And then I'll go. Every theme park I've been in the last like 10 years has been I've been paid to be there probably. Yeah, $5 in an arcade. Wow. I do hear you on the camping in space. Well, they have it now. They're gonna do it. They have this thing. Disney just announced it. The chicken. They had the tic-tac-toe chicken in a machine. It's crazy. Yeah. What else? Any questions? Any questions about Coney Island from my experience? I mean, I'm not a Coney Island expert. I've done a lot of shows there. The performers were wild. Yes. Wild is, I mean, up until recently, most of the sideshow people lived in one house. It was like one house of sideshow freaks. Now it's kind of spread out. But, you know, every year they got to find a cast. It's not easy to find sideshow performers that can do that kind of a show. I would never be able to do a 10-1. Maybe when I was 19, 20, I could have done the grind. Not anymore. No way. Are you kidding me? Like minimum wage, 8 shows a day, 10 shows a day. I don't know. It's hard. It does get your chops up, and you do learn a lot doing those. But I'd rather street perform. The gunfights, yeah. I mean, the crime rate in Ruby's is still there. Yeah. So yeah, I would say Coney Island still has a good working class vibe. There's still people there that are regular people that live. It's not been gentrified. There's old people, there's young people. It's not like Bushwick and Williamsburg where it's all young people now. It's a mix. Like Coney Island or like Rockaway Beach. We have a little bit of everything. We have a very strong working class backbone at Rockaway Beach. I would say Coney Island does too. A geek show? There's a freak show, but no geek. You know, that's a good question. Leaving NYC anytime soon. You mean to live or to work? Work, yes. I've left many times recently. Live somewhere else? Hell no. Are you kidding me? I think it did collapse. Wow, you know a lot. Yeah, I think the whole thing fell apart. Yeah, I have no desire to leave New York City. Yet. Right now, Rockaway Beach is the closest to the vibe I like. It's definitely renegade, wild here. We have our own set of values and rules, I would say. Similar to what New York City used to feel like in the old days, which is why I live here now. Yes, that's it. The urine trough fell through the floor. Yeah, the floors are all rotten in these old places. If you go to like any Coney Island building that's old and you look at the floor, wow, it is rotten. But yeah, I'm not leaving New York. I will definitely leave for work and travel. But yeah, I'm not. I've yet to find another city that suits my appetite. It's not going to happen. I mean, I liked Tokyo, and I liked Taiwan. I liked Taipei. I lived in Taipei for 3 months, and I liked it, but I don't want to be there permanently. I don't like their laws. I'm going to be honest. I love Japan, but I don't like their laws. I love Europe, but I don't like how their legal system works either in a lot of ways. So I'm here. I like the USA right now. I like New York City, and I like my hometown, and I still like Coney Island. So, I mean, yeah. See, Dan P agrees. So Dan P came to just come hang out. We hung out. He came and saw my show, and he saw the vibe. I mean, you saw it, Dan. It's not normal. It's not like anywhere else. It's not even like Coney. It's very unique here. It's a mixture of urban, suburb, beach, fisherman, pirate, gangster, surfer, artist. That's the vibe here. California? Hell no. Don't like their laws, and I don't like... I like the weather, sort of, but I like the seasons here. I do. I don't mind it. Our fall here is beautiful. Our spring is gorgeous. Our winters can be harsh. I like to leave in the winter for a little bit, you know. But yeah, no California. No, thank you. I like to visit. I don't mind it. I like the weather again, partially. Partied your face off. Work was rough the next day. Yes. Pirate? I said pirate. I did say pirate. Yes. And when I say gangster and pirate, I mean them. I'm not metaphorically using those words. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the East Coast. I'm an East Coast guy. That's the other thing. The West Coast, the way they move around, don't like it. Same with Florida. I don't mind Florida. People walk really slow. I'm too East Coast. When I go to the West Coast, they're like, dude, you're like pushy and loud. I'm like, what? Huh? Yeah, no, I'm East Coast. All the way. In my blood. And I'm going to probably die on the East Coast. I've considered... The only other places I've been that I like are some of the surfy spots, like in Puerto Rico and in Nicaragua and stuff like that. I like them because of the weather and the beach and the surfing, but I like that there are people coming through, surfers. And there's travelers in the middle of nowhere. It's so cool. I like that vibe. I would live there way before I would move anywhere else in the USA. The reason, again, it's kind of Wild West when you go to those places. It's kind of anything goes. You don't have people breathing down your neck telling you what to do. Money talks in those places. Yeah. And as corrupt as it can be, in many ways, as I get older, I prefer those vibes. What's to say? This is true about the West Coast. I'm from the middle, but more. Yeah. I would say the Midwest. Yeah, you can go either way, right? I mean, again, LA's fun. I love it there. But for living, hell no. No way. Same with San Francisco. Beautiful city. Ain't living there. New Orleans, fun visit. Ain't gonna live there. Miami, fun. No. Sorry. Not the same. The backbone of what I have here, the vibe, I have yet to see anything like it. I'm sure there's other cool places on planet Earth, but my God, how to find? Yeah, it's all, one of my best advices for anybody. You got to find where you want to be when you wake up in the morning. Isn't that more important than anything? My mom, Fran, are you watching? My mom, she used to say that to me. You got to wake up where you want to be. A lot of people move to places for a job, but they don't want to be there. Well, how's that going to work out? I mean, if you're doing it for temporary reasons to get it on the resume, I get it. But if you don't know that, bad idea maybe. Move somewhere because you want to wake up there. I moved to New York City because I wanted to wake up in New York City and have the world at my fingertips. And though I live in Queens, not in Manhattan anymore, it's right here. I can go any minute. I was there 2 days ago. It's right there. I could literally walk there if I wanted to. Be kind of far. Yeah, my mom's in here. She said it. Yes. Yeah, you got to wake up where you want to be. You got to wake up and be like, I love my town. If you're not doing that, there's a problem. Yeah, I agree, Joel. So on that note, I'm going to bounce out. It's Monday. I am a little parched and I want more water. I have one sip left. And I'm going to start working on my week. I am going to try to do a Wednesday show. I'm not sure yet. I have lots of little things going on. I have a million shows I'm booking right now. I've got my Wits End show and a bunch of other stuff. So I've got a lot going on, even though it's summer. Usually my summers are slow. Now, not anymore. Not anymore. Oh, come to St. Louis. Dodge bullets and stolen cars. No, thank you. I'll pass. Have I ever been to St. Louis? I have. Hold on. What was I doing in St. Louis? I might have flown there. What's your closest other big city? Because I flew in there to go somewhere. I can't remember. All right, folks. My God, if you're new in here, please, hit the subscribe button. It's like right down there. There's a little button, and it says subscribe. And if you're new, hit the subscribe. It's the least you can do. The donations, great. If you want to do that, cool. Fallon did tonight. It's flattering when I get them, and it goes right into this show. And you don't have to. I don't, people have tough times now too. I get it. The least you can do is subscribe and tell your friends. So I really like doing this show. I'm going to keep doing them. I ain't stopping. And I love the people in here. You stimulate the conversation in manners that are awesome. Thank you, Fallon. Thank you, everybody in here. Again, Amazon. It's the story of the Lunatics, New York City punk rock band. And Midnight, another guy I like, Sean Aberg and Goblinko. Anybody want to get an intense board game? And when I mean intense, it's not easy. The rule book's kind of thick, but once you learn the rules to this, you really feel like you're in an open world. And you get to fight monsters. You get to... there's a lot of stuff in that game. Thank you, Lilith. Thank you, William. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, everybody in here. Oh, yeah, there's cool people in this room. Seriously. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, yeah. The coolest of the bunch. Lots. Folks, I'm Cardone. This was episode 86. I love chatting with y'all. You all stimulate me. You make me want to go learn more. That's all I'm saying. Thank you. Folks, I'll see you maybe Wednesday. Definitely not Friday. I have something going on Friday. And Monday, next Monday. We got episode 87 and 88 coming up. Wow. Shocking. I'm going to take us with the outro. Oh, yeah. Eat more so you can send me the Manowar jacket. I know Manowar always makes big stuff. You got to lift weights to listen to Manowar. I'm going to take us out with the trailer. And I'm going to go have my Monday. You guys rule. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Party on.